think that this episode kind of reminds you of Sean's house a little bit? Like, certain parts of this house remind me of your house.
Don't say it. He's sleeping there tonight. Just let him go.
You think that this house is like haunted, and it's like not haunted. There's nothing.
Sean,
there's nothing
that house
there.
is one of the most haunted houses throughout the whole block.
It's not even close. I actually was thinking about putting in the listing because I'm listing it on Thursday. That one of the few non-haunted buildings. I'm gonna say that.
I'm just gonna let them know. Like, if you hear a knock at 2:00 in the morning, don't open the door.
It's just a cat.
Open the door. It's just a cat. Don't fucking open the door. Don't let it fucking in.
Name Mr. Hudson.
With that, good evening, and welcome to a special TV show episode of 3.5 Gentlemen. We're excited about our Season 7 lineup of movies, but tonight we're going to bring you a new show, episode 2 of a new show. Brandon, what do we got?
Well, tonight we are checking in, wink, wink, to Widow's Bay, which is a critically acclaimed horror comedy series that you can find on Apple TV. Now, this show follows Tom Loftis, played by the one and only Matthew Rhys, because there is only one person that I know named Matthew Rhys. And he is the well-meaning but unpopular mayor of a small, cozy-seeming New England tourist island who is desperate to turn his struggling off-the-grid community into the next big tourist hotspot. However, and I am riffing here, there are things afoot that might lead to problems with Tom's hopes and desires, including haunts, haints, voodoo, fog,
and
mist,
clowns,
and New York Times bad reviews. Just throwing that out there.
Eddie.
Widow's Bay has a 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb and a 97% with critics, 93% for audience on Rotten Tomatoes.
So this show is definitely critically acclaimed. It's definitely high in the ratings. Nice. As we enter episode 2 after last week's pilot, I think that it definitely keeps the tone of being a little scary, a little funny, a little out there. It's definitely a different type of show than we've watched in the past. Like, I'm reminded, Jeremiah had me sit down and watch House on Haunted Hill. What was it? What was the Netflix show?
The Haunting on Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House. And I lasted, I think, all of 2.5 minutes. I think they mentioned the bent neck woman, and I was like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Go ahead, Ed.
I would say, I feel like this is, Jeremy, you mentioned something about Sean's house, but I feel like there's a part of me that would think that Sean would have a security camera in his bar, so he wants to make us have a log of what we took. If
log it down.
I can see that.
My Smirnoff is now lower than it was before.
No, my spirits run free here at the house. That's how you get through the night. Yeah, that's how you get through the night without answering the phantom knocks on the door.
These double entendre.
Brandon was talking about, it looks like Tom got a fantastic review from the author, from the, from the news. So it looks like business is booming and everything. But it kind of starts off kind of creepy with the bell just kind of just ringing throughout the night, like, oh, here's the witching hour or something like that. And I actually love the scene where he actually meets the preacher, which is this guy's name is Toby Huss. He's one of my favorite character actors. I love this. I love the preacher dude in this series. But I just like the fact that it was alarming to him that the bell doesn't ring because the bell is all chained up and everything like that. So it's kind of alarming right there that
he didn't
something
hear
going on right off the bat.
Right?
Yeah.
That's actually my favorite part of this entire episode, and it's kind of interesting because this episode, I'm not going to say it in a negative way, so don't jump on me yet. But this episode, I feel, is kind of a one-trick pony in the sense that the focus is solely on the hotel and the hotel room and Tom's stay in the hotel. Right? There's other things that happen, but to me, the most interesting part of this whole episode is the seed of question put out there about the bell and the fact that he goes through and reads like what to do if the bell rings. So obviously there's precedent for this, that there is some kind of negative thing that comes from the bell ringing. And so now he has to go up there and who knows, do some kind of ritual, some kind of sacrifice, some kind of
to keep,
I don't know,
to keep the spirits away.
To keep the
spirits away, possibly.
So I'm gonna renege on what I said, which is I think it might be supernatural. Last week I was saying I think it's going to be human based. I thought about it over the last week, and I'm still wearing the same clothes. But hey, I think that it is a supernatural entity. But like Sean, you were saying last week, if it turns out to be human based and realistic, I think that would be pretty badass.
Well, you can't play both sides.
I'm playing both sides.
First of all, you can play whatever side you want.
These guys sound like you're on Lost.
I will stand right on this.
On the blood smoke. They're friends, right?
No, but I think that this episode kind of, we talked about. I talked about last episode a little bit about the second episode, Slums, where you kind of have this good pilot, a strong pilot, and then all of a sudden the show kind of, I don't know. It happens all the time where the second episode just kind of sucks, where it kind of goes down rabbit hole, tries something different, and it hasn't found its footing yet. And I don't think that this episode struggles from that. It picks up exactly where it left off from the first one. And if anything, it leans heavier into horror and mystics than the first episode, because you find our titular character, our I guess he's not a titular character, but our primary character in Matthew Rhys, lodging into a hotel in town, intending to prove that it's safe for guests and it's not haunted. And then all of a sudden, hell ensues. So
I love the checklist, right? The checklist that he goes down, and he's basically going through all this, the Bloody Mary stuff. I mean, he's going through everything. I thought that was actually a really cool little kind of thing, because here's the thing. I'm going to go put myself out there. I don't believe in that, but at the same time, you get me to go into a dark room, bathroom, right, and look in the mirror and say Bloody Mary. I am not fucking doing that, not one bit. So there's enough
no Candyman, no Bloody Mary.
Oh no. Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool way to introduce this. So Sean, I didn't mean to step on your toes, but I did like that. It wasn't just stay in the night, but it's stay the night, but then do all this ritualistic shit that we know from our own versions in our own childhood.
The way he reacts to it as well is very hilarious, because when he says that, he's just like,
yeah. Well, I always question.
So funny.
Yeah, I always question Brandon's. Brandon didn't write the script. The computer wrote the script or whatever. IMDb got the script, but it says horror comedy. Horror/comedy, horror-comedy, and I'm like, is this a comedy? And then all of a sudden, you have moments in the show that literally make you laugh out loud, funny at his reactions to what you like. It's almost like he's making fun of filmmakers who take advantage of the jump scare. Because he's going down this list, and it's like, these are perfect ways, man, where you could jump scare your audience over and over and over again. Boom, 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 boom. And he's doing these ritual things that people are familiar with, and you don't get the jump scare. This dude has proven himself to be a hugely versatile actor.
Yes,
I think he's absolutely fantastic. I just love. I cannot say enough about this man. I think he's one of the best actors in Hollywood, in my opinion.
I think it's really cool that it balances the terrifying aspect of it, but also kind of the humor of it. But my favorite part is when the innkeeper kind of brings him into his room, the captain's room, and he does not want to go into the captain's room, and so he kicks his luggage in there.
Yeah,
it's just little things like that where you're like, you feel the tension of it, but at the same time, you're feeling like, oh my God, you can put yourself into his shoes, and you'll be like kind of wondering what the hell is going on at the same time.
Jer, you more than any of us, Eddie, I appreciate you, but I'm going to go with Jeremy. You more than anybody are an expert in the horror film genre. And I feel like nearly, not all for sure, Blair Witch Project, no, The Omen, no, right? Some of the classics, Exorcist, but almost every contemporary horror film is at its heart also a comedy. Right. I think of we watch Ready or Not. There's moments of comedy there. So I feel like, that modern day horror films,
The Ring,
are comedic.
The Ring.
No, that's fucking classic. Oh, God, greatest horror film ever.
That's
but I do feel like it brings a sense of
movie.
levity to it, right? That it brings a relaxation, because we need that.
Yeah.
We're not all like watching 90 minutes or in this case 40 minutes on their edge. And I just feel like, to call it a horror comedy is kind of unnecessary. I think a horror comedy is Shaun of the Dead, which is like at its core, it is trying to make you laugh where there's other, horrible things happening in the background. So I do think it's probably a little bit misnamed. So IMDb, fuck you.
We've talked about this before. There's horror movies, and then there's thrillers, and then there's,
suspense.
There's opportunistic horror movies, suspense. And I feel like this is more suspenseful than horror. I actually think horror is the wrong term. It's suspense because it strings you along and it doesn't jump scare you. And that's what I think that it's most appealing about the show, is why I'm able to watch this show, is because I don't like just gratuitous jump scares. It has.
I remember a clown coming out.
No, it has. Hold on. It has jump scares in it, just like every horror or scary movie does. But they're not like every fucking 5 seconds. Like it doesn't bombard you with them. It picks and chooses the times to really do it.
Let's talk about the captain's room, because there's some creepy stuff happens in that room.
Time stands still in that room, it feels like.
We don't know. All I know is that he turns on the television and he sees like the former mayor or someone that doing the video, and he's like, "Hey, welcome to Widow's Bay," and you see him walking all the way around.
Let me take you
the island.
Let me take you a part of Widow's Bay, and then he just fucking walks.
That shit's gonna come back, but
But you're waiting for something to happen there the whole time. You're just like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And then it goes on again, and then you see him kind of come back with his eyes all black. You see kind of a figure in the background, like all black, very tall. And you're like, oh, shit, what the hell is going on? And then it just breaks out. You didn't see that?
I saw that. I saw him coming.
Yeah, the TV. No. You guys.
Yeah. What are you watching?
You didn't see that?
When he came back to the room,
I saw the mayor come back.
He started changing the channel. He was trying to change the channel. And then it slowly started coming back to him like the Ring vibe. And all of a sudden, he's right there. Yeah,
I remember the mayor, but I don't remember the figure behind him. I didn't see that.
The eyes are all black, and then there is a shadow figure in the far back that's absolutely terrifying. And then the TV explodes and everything like that. And that's when I think he kind of goes out and he sees that figure in the hallway, which hallways and figures are the scariest things, by the way. If you want to really just get the chills in your spine.
Jeremiah, did you just hate living at my house? Was it just the worst thing in the world?
As Patricia said in the first episode, I still put my dresser in front of my door. I always put it there in front of it because I was terrified of something coming in, dude. A ghost is going to go through it.
Just for context, Jeremiah lived at the end of the hall. At the end of the hall, at the beginning of the staircase, where in order to get to his room, you actually had to look down this long ass hall.
Yeah, your room's to the right,
dude. It made sounds. That house makes sounds, dude. I'm not going to just let it go. But let's talk about William, the engineer.
The curtain, I thought, was badass.
The neighbor.
The party was badass. Right, we have this, and that reminded me of The Shining. And obviously, we talked about this last time, but it's got that Stephen King vibe. You guys said Spielberg.
Yes,
I don't get Spielberg at all. I get so strong Stephen King vibes. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm not a Stephen King fan. I've been upfront about that before. However, Stephen King has some really good stuff, and I feel like what they're going off of with this are the good Stephen King aspects, right? The Shining. We talked about 1408. We talked a little bit about
Salem's Lot. It has that kind of like this small town that has a history from many years and everything. So it does have that vibe. I told you it has the greatest hits of Stephen King.
I'll give that.
Which one did you think was going to hit? Because you're going down the list, and you're like, okay. In my head, I was like, one of these is going to hit. I don't know which one.
No, the one that hit was the one that I knew was going to hit because it's talking about crawling. Really? And plus, he goes down. He says, "Nope," and then he that's going to be the.
That's a Sean thing right there. Like, nope, fuck this.
No, Sean, would you crawl in there? Would you crawl in there with a video camera?
No, God, no. First of all, I would not be in Widow's Bay. Just so you know, I would land in Widow's Bay. I would look around and I would go, you know what? I'm good. I'm not fine. I'm not doing this shit.
Brandon lives in Willows Bay.
I think it would be really cool to be in Willows Bay. I mean, I just thought to myself, like, man, I could be a DJ. I could be a radio DJ at Willows Bay and just like, hey, what's going on coast to coast? We got that fog rolling in. Oh, my gosh, be careful out there. By the way, here's a nice tune for your Monday night evening. Oh, that would be so fucking bad. Yeah.
No, I just, you know, first of all, I never see myself in horror movies. Like, I never really.
I always see you in horror movies.
Of course you do. But I've never identified with anybody in horror movies because I would never put myself in a situation where I'm in threat of horror. Ever. Because I'm terrified of it. So I would just literally I would not be part of this paradigm. Especially after the fog. I would be on the first fucking boat out of there.
It's just the fog, and yes, maybe his homeboy, who's 37 years old, that looks like he's 80 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a little zombie-ish, but I mean, he got dared, and the whole town was just like adding more lists. Like, you should go down to the cellar. You should stay in the captain's room. They were like seriously giving him the worst like fucking night. You're like, you wanted to make this happen. You need to do all these test runs going on.
So the captain's room is obviously, they're all different things, and he did all of it. So he stirred up the hornet's nest in my eyes.
No, but to Eddie's point, you know, he did the checklist, and I think that the thing that, how do I say this? The thing that we all expected to happen fucking happened when he's under that house or in the basement, and he's like all crouched over, and all you see is the legs of, you know, the clown, and then
his neighbor, technically.
But once again, this show subverts expectations because
look at his
the clown
is that not scary as fuck?
It just does it move? Did it move?
It's just moving.
It does.
Jesus,
sorry.
Sean.
Yeah, well, so Dr. Todd, I wish you could see it because he keeps freaking me the fuck out. I've opened the window because it needs.
He always blames his cat.
Always. But guess what? His cat died 3 years ago.
No, hold on. What I was saying is Matthew Rhys going into the basement, and seeing the clown, like, is what we expected, and still it was. That was the most terrifying part of the episode. Was just watching that clown come and never stopping. Like, I felt like I expected it to stop, and then it just came like a third time. Like, you looked at it, it was coming, you know, looked back, looked at it, kept coming, looked back, and then all of a sudden it just like was on you. I don't know about you guys, but clowns are not my thing.
It's just the way how it was directed. Like, he bends down slowly, and like, hey, bud. You okay down there?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I thought he was.
You want me to come in?
I thought he was gonna like spring out other arms or legs. He came in like a spider, dude. I was like, oh my gosh, and it was terrifying. Even the scene before that, when they're playing their game and they're having the best time. I mean, these guys could be like best friends. I'm not gonna lie. They really had like the best time just having drinks and playing games. And there's a moment where the body language of William changes completely. To the point where you're just like, oh, this guy's a fucking killer. Oh, is he the killer? I mean, because his body language is just like these.
I knew right away he was the
piece
killer.
Of shit, dude. No, he seemed like a really nice man.
There was
you know?
no one else in that fucking hotel, and he's standing there, and it was just like.
Well, I didn't think it was going to last for the whole night. You know, I mean, you saw the video after the next day, and you're like, okay, he's actually talking to himself.
So was that he's hallucinating? Was that Fight Club status? Was he
no?
Was he drinking all of that himself? Status. Was he drinking all of himself?
We don't know because he goes back in the room, wakes up, and then they kind of look into the room. The officer Wick and also the
hotel
innkeeper.
Manager. Yeah,
he pulls it off, and it's all black mold. And one of the symptoms is that you could hallucinate from that. So you don't know if it all happening in his head or not. And I have a question to ask you. Mm-hmm. Is he dead or not dead? Because when the clown runs up to him and he looks to his right, he sees a skeleton wearing the same fucking shirt, by the way. So my question to you is, has he been dead this whole time?
No, that would be terrible.
No, that would be an awful one. No, I don't think so. I think what it's doing is if we're looking at this as a supernatural,
no, that's not true.
Right? Well, it's not true. It's not true, Jeremiah, and you know it. I think what we're looking at.
It would be a bad end of the show. It would be a bad end of the show if he was dead the whole time.
Kind of like that one show where they kill the main character off.
So you're telling me that he wasn't the innkeeper the whole time?
Yeah, no, he's not dead. No, listen. Here's what's going on. Yeah. Here's what's going on. Is that we've
The Last of Us.
We've got a supernatural entity. Now I'm going over to that. Right. We've got a supernatural entity whose goal is to scare and to also establish itself. Right. I don't think it's there to kill him. I think it's there to make people aware of its power. Right. And it knows that who is the one that is going to be speaking the most to the public and helping to kind of voice this power. Well, it's Tom, especially as a skeptic.
So you think that the hotel knows its victims? You think that because later in the episode you have the guy go into the captain's suite and for 10 seconds and they close the door and then he has these reactions, and all I can think about is I don't think that the hotel necessarily knows what the hell's going on. I think that it wants to terrorize anyone who's in that room. I think it wants to terrorize anyone who's in that hotel, and it doesn't know that Tom is the mayor or anything like that.
The guy knew he never wanted to step his foot in there, and he knows there's a reason why. So that's the reason why he asked, like, "Are you sure? Can you give me some food?" He's like, "You're only going to be there for 10 seconds." And so he knew what's up. People know what's going on this island. That's the reason why they're making him do all these different types of tests and clues and runs and things like that,
Is Tom the only non-islander, original islander? Because the wife was, right?
I think there's parts of the island where it gets... I think time is... there's like pockets, if that makes sense. And that's where like the old man who's really young, or who's young but really old... There's pockets of time where people could go and time stand still. I don't know. And you get the idea that the innkeeper goes in there is like, well, like, you told me it was only going to be 10 seconds. It was only 10 seconds. Oh, okay. Like you can see like it took a lot longer than 10 seconds in his eyes. And then the second time you see how he was, I think they opened the door and he had his eyes closed or ears closed. Like he was just like, he shut it all out. He just like, I'm not going to do anything for like in his eyes for so long. And he looked like he almost went insane in that room for 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. And everything was just being ripped apart. Everything was thrown around. So I feel like there's pockets of time that's on this island somewhere that it just time stands still. I don't know.
How long do you think he was in that room? While he was in the room, how long do you think he was in that room?
I think 10 seconds is an hour, because I felt like it wasn't that far. Just he was like, you told me 10 seconds, like you made it sound like it was possible, and I feel like 30 seconds was
3 hours.
I would say some three to or half a day, maybe. I don't know.
Math right now. Here's the thing though, that it doesn't
around there.
Because Tom's in there, and he didn't feel like he was there for hours or days, right? He felt like
first of all, you don't know how it affected Tom, but that's the thing is you don't know how it affected Tom. Tom could never have left the room. And he could have been absorbed by a spirit who forced him downstairs to talk to that guy and go to the basement. Who knows what the fuck happened? Like you don't know any. Like I'm not saying, Brandon, that you're wrong. I'm just saying that you don't know anything for sure. Nothing for sure.
I don't know anything.
He could be dead for all you know.
Quit going there, Jeremiah. He's not dead. If he's dead, the show sucks.
Yeah, that's The Last of Us. That's a stupid show.
Why would it be The Last of Us?
Because they kill off the character in episode 2.
I'm just saying, like, hey, it makes no sense there's a skeleton when he was freaking out that's wearing the same shirt. You tell me.
I understand. Hold on. I understand there's a skeleton. But it makes no sense that there's a clown. It makes no sense that he played a game with a person at the hotel that wasn't there. Like, nothing makes fucking sense. So to harp on one thing that doesn't make sense and to be a proof positive of other things, that just doesn't work for me.
Sean, you and I we all kind of just agree that this has a lot of 1408 vibe. It has a lot of Shining vibes.
Very much.
So you telling me that he's not probably the innkeeper the whole time? That he's always been there in the island?
No, because he leaves and he has other episodes.
Shut up.
So what do you think is going to happen after the next episode?
Oh,
what
fuck,
do you think
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something on that damn list. Something on that fucking list for sure. Something I'm going to go back to episode 1 and watch.
He was able to do the whole list. I mean, what do you think is your expectations for the next episode?
I don't think he was able to do the whole list. I feel like the island shows you when it's ready.
Jeremiah, you kind of screwed it up last week.
Brandon.
I'm going to say we're going to get a taste, pun intended, of cannibalism. I think that's where we're going. And Jerry, you kind of spoiled it last episode, so thanks a lot, buddy.
Well, you're wrong, Brandon. I know
wrong.
what
I cannot
happens.
wait
And
Wait.
I cannot wait to watch it.
He hasn't spoiled anything.
I haven't spoiled shit. What are you talking about?
But
Go
I
back
will
to
say,
last week.
I think we're going to continue. Having. I think we're going to continue to have an episodic unraveling of the horrors that this town has in store.
That's a
Oh,
good.
geez. You're in
that's a
for
good
a
general.
real fucking treat.
Yeah.
And that, listeners, brings us to the end of review. Now, Willie the Clown, also William the Clown, will take us through our scale. So each of the
William
hosts will give us
Clown
a
the Third.
movie, a rating. Yeah,
Honestly, can you imagine
give
like
this episode a rating.
he opened up that door and he saw the person standing there and he's like, "Who the when did you clock in?" And I would have been more like up in his face, like.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Eddie, though. I don't think you would have, because you're a nice person and you are the type
I
of
would have
person.
personally known no one else was in that fucking hotel, and
But
I
you
would
didn't
have
know
not
that.
just
You
closed the
didn't
door.
know. I mean,
Yeah, you don't know that.
The thing is, no. All I'm saying, Eddie, is you're a genuinely nice person, and when you see someone else, your first instinct isn't, "Oh, you're a goblin living in the
No, but
hotel." Like that wouldn't be your first instinct.
I asked more questions. I think I know
Probably,
I
but at
naturally asked more
the
questions.
same time, I'm just saying your first instinct isn't malice; it's kindness. You're a kind person.
Do you look at the scenario that they're in? Okay, he's going down the list. That scenario was scary as fuck. I'm not just going to close about the door and say, "All right, good night." Fuck that shit. I'm walking outside a little bit. I'm going to take a walk. Hey, you want to come with me, Mr. Clown?
Got to do what he needs to do to keep the island alive, man. Come on. This is all Jaws right here.
Yeah. All right. 0, the perfect episode. 1, a feel-good first cocktail. 2, a happy buzz. 3, gonna Uber, Lyft, and home. 4, rough morning walk of shame. 5, blackout, spring break drunk.
Shit-faced.
I'm not there yet. I will be.
I mean, they got shit faced on this episode, by the way. How many drinks was that? 5,
I'm not
6,
gonna lie.
8?
I'm a little shit faced now, and I can understand where they're at.
Are you playing any video games or games with anybody over there?
I'm
What
doing
was
a
that game
podcast,
called?
bro.
It was called Daddy's Home. Oh,
Daddy's
no,
home.
Daddy's Home.
And he's
Pretty kinda
mad.
creepy when you think about it.
It's very creepy.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay. Brandon, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so I know I kind of mentioned it at the very beginning of this recording in this episode for us. To me, this was a good episode. It was creepy. It had some awesome vibes. I don't think it really hit for an episode 2. So, Sean, you kept saying that this didn't hit the sophomore slump. I actually kind of thought it did, because it was such a one-trick pony with the hotel. I would have liked to have explored the island a little bit more to get a base of it, and then had maybe this as episode 3 or 4. I think that would have been a better flow for me. We spend, I would say, a strong 85% of this episode in the hotel. And granted, it was creepy. I love the episode, or the portion where they review the footage and he's talking to himself and playing the game with himself. I love that. That's great. And so it was creepy. It was scary. The clown coming down was awesome. But to me, for a second episode, I thought that this was actually kind of a miss. I loved something we didn't even talk about, was this antagonistic relationship that we have between Tom and Wick. And it kind of hits ahead when Tom calls Wick a hick. And this kind of is what instigates everything from the locals, who basically want Tom to go and experience some kind of pain within the hotel. And so I think that was interesting. That was good. I want more of that before we get into just forcing us to stay in one location for the duration of the entire episode. It was good. I thought that it shows legs, it shows direction, it shows movement towards what it's going to be doing as a series, or at least as a season. I thought it was a little bit better than the first episode in score wise, because it has quality to it. But I don't think it's breaking into that one drink for me. This is a clear 2 drinks. So this is a happy buzz that I'm feeling. It is 2. There is no extra added anything's for me. So that's what I got. Sean, I'm going to go with you, buddy.
Sure. So I thought this was a better episode than the first episode for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think the scares were a little bit more robust. I think that the first one kind of had a subversion of expectations with the fog rolling in. I expected someone to die. I expected some horrible things to happen, and nothing really happened. It was almost like a false flag operation. And this one, you had some substance, some meat on it, and you saw some actual results of the horror. And I think that was the most interesting part of the episode, where you have a character, that's the main character, beginning to realize that this town does have some secrets, does have some darkness, and he's experiencing it firsthand. What he does with that information is going to be an interesting topic, but as of now, he's still very gung-ho on bringing in people, bringing in outsiders into the town to stay at the hotel or to enjoy the bounties that the town has to offer. So I'm looking forward to seeing the degradation. I think that the jump scares, the horror that happened at the hotel was well done. It was not overstated. It was not understated. It was just the perfect amount of horror. And so for that, I give it a 1. I think this episode was better than the first one. I appreciated it. And that's it. I thought it was a good, solid second episode to what is turning out to be a very consistent show. Jeremiah.
Sure. This is the episode that really got me into this series, where I'm like, okay, you have me here. It has like a little Twin Peaks mix with some Stephen King vibes to it. It has like some folklore mix to it, and I actually dug the shit out of it. I like how we got to this haunted house or this haunted hotel, and you kind of saw all the histories of all the pain that was a part of the island in a lot of ways. There's some supernatural things that are happening. I mean, I really felt like it balanced the humor in the horror sequence. It felt good. It felt great. I was scared, but I was kind of laughing at the same time because I can put myself into that situation. And it did have one of the most terrifying scenes, I thought, so far I've seen all year, with the clown and everything. I mean, that was something I can't get out of my head. I think the show is finally hitting its stride. And that's what's really cool about it, where it's not a one-trick pony from, I think, because it would just have been all about the fog. It decided to do something different. It was like this new type of like Monster of the Week type of episode. And if it's going to do things like that, I'm totally for it to have what's next week for the Monster of the episode.
Scary stories.
So Eddie's right. It's the whole scary stories type of thing. This one is hitting all of the buttons for me. It's actually an overshot of a score. It's a 0.75. This is the episode that got me into like, okay, let's see what we have for round 3 and round 4. Eddie.
All right.
It definitely hit from the very first episode to this episode. I feel like it drastically cut it in half of my expectations. I wasn't ready for it. I enjoyed the inn scene, the hotel scene. I enjoyed the innkeeper. You see little things of like, okay, he's not going in, and he says, I'm not even staying here, so if you need me, call me. Like, that tells you a lot about the whole town, the idea. Oh, you have to have this video camera. It's like everyone knows what's going to happen, and the mayor just has to live it, and then they're just going to be like, told you, this is why we don't want people to come here. So I really enjoy that bar scene where we pretty much just tell the mayor, like, hey, we'll listen to you if you listen to us. The whole episode, for me, I enjoyed it. It definitely upped my ratings in my head of me wanting to watch the rest of the season with a happy face. And what am I watching? Scary scenes. I'm expecting them to be random now. And I feel like I have a little idea of how it's going to happen. I enjoyed afterwards where there were the police officers there with the innkeeper and the mayor, Tom. It would just made me feel like just something else going on here, that it's multiple stories are going on at once is what I'm thinking. So I gave this a 1.08, a random score, because this episode gave me a random feel of goosebumps in my bones. Good old goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark style. 1.08.
So when you take those 4 scores and divide by 4, what does episode 2 of Widow's Bay get an average rating of?
It is a 1.2075. A 1.2075.
Clearly the best episode of the series so far. We've only done 2 of them. Jeremiah, what is the average rating of this show compared to other shows that we've done in the past? Like, do we have any average show rating?
Let's put it this way, listeners and my host. Before we rated this episode, we were at a 1.763. With this new episode, 1.2075, it brings down the series average to a 1.485 series average. That's where we're at right now.
Okay, so we're at a 1.48 series average after 2 episodes. So look at some other shows. Where are we at? Like with,
where is Last of Us?
Let's say, The Last of Us or White Lotus or Mandalorian or Boba Fett, for fuck's sake. Did we even do Boba Fett? I just
we haven't done Boba Fett. We haven't
such
done
a
Boba
shitty show. I'm sorry.
Listen, we could get the score on every single one of the average rating of 5.
7.
Episode 2 for Night 7 Kingdom was at a 1.885. White Lotus was at a 1.33. We actually rated that pretty high, by the way. But this is both episodes are actually ranked. Both episodes are ranked a little higher than this episode, so it's good where it's at, man. It's not like the Mount Rushmore of like Stranger Things 5 or 4 or even some other things that we have done, but it's doing well.
But it's competitively in the middle, would you say? Competitively in the middle.
It's doing better than competitively in the middle. It's actually
okay.
It's achieving a lot more than I thought it would.
All right. Well, we're excited to bring you the rest of the season, but with that, we're excited more to bring you more episodes than ever before. With that, you can find us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at the.gentleman podcast, at the.gentleman podcast. The dot means a lot. You can also find us on YouTube. Make sure you ring that bell and subscribe, where we post our trailer reactions and last calls in their entirety. On our social media, we try to give you little bits and pieces of the last call. So last call, you can obviously listen to on everywhere podcasts are available or on YouTube. With that, we want to say thank you so much for listening, and we've seen an increase dramatically in our viewership and our social media, so we invite you to continue to talk to your friends, continue to talk to people in your lives, and tell them about our podcast so that we can continue to grow. We do this for you, the fans, and you guys reward us week after week. With that, we want to say thank you so much, and cheers. We'll see you next week with another episode 3 of Widow's Bay.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Peace out. Watch out for clowns.